Thank you very much, Minister of Interior. We shall now take the Secretary to Government of the Federation. Just to wrap up, sir.
If you say so. Thank you so much. There was this question that had to do with synergy with the states, as if we are not working in concert. Paragraph 2 of my speech this morning did emphasize that when I said that the Presidential Task Force continues to monitor developments around the country and provide guidance to the subnational entities and all other Nigerians on measures being taken. We are working in a collaborative manner with states all over the Federation. I have been in contact with them through the Governors Forum, and even yesterday after our video conferencing meeting with the President, the DG Center for Disease Control and the National Coordinator of the PTF were on with them for several minutes discussing synergy and how we can harmonize our response so that we have one national response. I must commend the states because they are doing a good job. But you heard me say this morning that this is not the time to relax any lockdown. A state has gone from 1 index case in under 1 week to 21. So it's a serious business, please. It's not a joking matter. And this is not the time to play any game. It is only our collective resolve as a country that can help us deal with this pandemic. So I'll continue to emphasize the fact that we have one national response and scientifically proven the only way you can drastically reduce transmission is through the lockdown. Once people don't come in contact with each other, we'll be able to trace those that have appeared on our radar as persons of interest, follow them up, track them, if need be, test them. If they are positive, take them into isolation, remove them from cohabiting with other people that are not infected, take them into isolation, and give them the appropriate care. But as long as we allow business as usual, people getting together, partying, then we should be prepared. We should be prepared to deal with the consequences of our actions. So I will continue to make this a passionate appeal. That given these 2 weeks, I must commend the governors that have taken bold steps in locking down their states so that the needful be done. The Quarantine Act signed by Mr. President has direct bearing on Abuja and Lagos and Ogun. So we have responsibility to ensure that this lockdown in these 3 locations are effective and geared towards producing the desired results and objectives for which the extension is granted. And that brings me to the second question that talks about difficulties of accessing movements and harassment by the law enforcement agencies. I'm not holding brief for the Inspector General of Police and all the other security agencies. But you know where I stand on this matter. I've spoken about it some time ago when I said it's a Nigerian phenomenon. And civility is reciprocal. If you are civil in your approach, you ordinarily attract a reciprocal civil attitude from the other party. And it's a cultural issue, it's a mind issue that I believe strongly that in spite of what COVID-19 is doing to us as a people, but coming out of it, I believe we will learn very good lessons and we'll begin to deal with matters and deal with ourselves in a different way. I expect that our security agencies will be polite in interrogating whoever desires to have access during this time of lockdown. And that was why I said in my speech this morning, when I said I was requesting the security agencies to please exercise patience in communicating. I mean, our people should exercise patience in communicating with the law enforcement agents assigned to ensure compliance with the presidential orders. They are there to protect us. But in the same vein, the security agents too are not expected to be overzealous in dealing with our people. I totally agree, having been locked down for 2 weeks, and particularly for those that earn their means of income on a daily subsistence basis, there is anxiety, there is apprehension, and the pressures of life kick in at that particular moment. But this is the time that we must exhibit decorum, we must be patient with each other, we must try as much as possible to endure and accommodate sometimes even excesses. Knowing the Nigerian people very, very well, because I'm one, this is not the time to take undue advantage. This is not the time to take undue advantage. This is the time to show our true sense of nationalism in this regard, and to ensure that we do everything collectively to have an upper hand in our fight against COVID-19. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that as much as possible, the security agencies should be patriotic in their actions, should be accommodating, should be polite, and should restrain themselves even in the face of provocation. But in the same vein, the civilian population too should be civil in their conduct. And lastly, the question that has to do with whether we have a budget for research. I can assure you that we have a budget for research, and we are partnering with the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, because this is a novel virus. Even in the place from where it originated, they are busy trying to lay their hands on possible vaccines or other drugs that can be used for the purposes of cure. So every country is mixing whatever they can mix. Here in Africa and in Nigeria in particular, we would put a little bit of the Nigerian sense in it, like the Honorable Minister for Aviation said here, in his part of the country where he comes from, people are saying that they can eat some fruits They can swallow some things, but that is not scientifically proven. We will do the needful in terms of a proper medical research to see if Nigeria can have a leeway or a headway in getting to the creation or invention of a vaccine or a combination of drugs that can be curative in dealing with the coronavirus. As of now, there is no cure that has been proven scientifically. There is no vaccine in the market that can be administered. All we are doing is to put in place the non-pharmaceutical initiative and the medical care that can be given to those that are being infected. I want to thank you.
Thank you, SGF. That brings us to the end of today's national briefing.
This is Channels Television, and you've been watching our coverage of the daily briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, explaining to the nation the federal government's response efforts in containing the novel coronavirus pandemic, live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We now return to Lagos to continue with our regular programs. Stay with us.